Today we're going to show you how to change colors on your subject and the background in Lightroom. Hey everyone, welcome to PHLEARN. My name is Aaron Nace. You can find me on PHLEARN.com where we make learning fun. In today's video, we're going to show you an incredibly simple and effective method if you want to change some colors in Lightroom. Now in this case, we're going to actually change the color of our subject's dress to make it complementary colors with the greens in the background. It's incredibly cool. Let's jump into it. So here's our sample image for today. You can actually download this on PHLEARN.com. Just follow the link right down below. Totally free. You can follow along. So we're going to go right over here. Now, normally you might go to your standard editing tools and you can take a look at color. For instance, you could change the white balance of your image. You can change the tint of your image. You can change the vibrancy of your image. But I want more control over this, okay? So let's go ahead. We're just going to reset all those edits. Boom. I want to select just my subject. In fact, just my subject's dress. So how do we go about doing that? Well, Lightroom has introduced new fantastic artificial intelligence masking tools. So let's go over right to our masking tools. This little mask icon, or you can hit M for your masking tools. First thing we're going to do is select our subject. So let's go ahead and hit select subject there. Now, in this case, you can see hover over your image and our subject is magically selected. I don't know how this works. It's like actually magic. Now, I do want to change color here, but the problem is right now, yes, the dress is selected, but also my subject's body is selected. We don't want to change her skin color, right? That's going to look weird. So what we're going to go ahead and do is subtract from this selection. It's very easy to do. So when we created our new mask, that creates this dialog over here. Okay, this is our mask dialog. And here we can see the mask. You can see the little preview of it. Looks like our subject. Now, we can add to this if we wanted to make more selection, or we can subtract to this if we wanted to make less selection. So let's go ahead and hit subtract. Now, in this case, I want to subtract an area. You could use your brush and kind of like paint away from your subject if you wanted to, but I'm going to actually go to where it says color range because the color of my subject's skin is very different from the color of that dress. So this is going to be super easy for the program to tell the difference between skin color and dress color. So let's go to color range. There we go. And now all you have to do is click and drag. You can see I'm actually clicking and dragging here on an area of my subject's skin color. That's going to sample more than one point. And when I let go, boom, let's go ahead and click and drag one more area. And there we go. You can see now my subject's skin is not selected at all and the dress remains selected. This is amazing. So if I just hover right over here, you can see I can now start to work on the colors. So on the right-hand side, we have our Hue Slider. This is what we want to do. Now we have an option down here to use fine adjustment. We're going to uncheck that by default. This is going to be how your Lightroom looks. There we go. We're going to take this Hue Slider and start dragging this to the left or the right. Look at this. Amazing. So like literally we selected our subject here, right? And then I just subtracted out the color range of my subject's skin. So I've got just the dress selected. And I can change this dress to whatever color I want it to. This is so much fun. Now, in this case, because the subject's dress was like green to begin with, and the background is green, they weren't standing off so much. So I'm going to change this to a purple. Now, this is actually a complementary color. So the purple and the green, boom, your eyes are instantly drawn into this purple color. This is so incredibly cool. Now, while we're on the subject of changing colors, let's go ahead and work on our sky a little bit. Super common issue that comes with photography is your skies are just kind of white. They're not really interesting. I want to bring some blue, maybe some cyan into those skies. So how do we do that? Well, we can just go to create new mask right up here, boom, and go down to where it says select sky. Fantastic. So now my sky is selected. I'm on a totally new mask. I can still go back in and edit this other mask if I want to, but with my sky selected, what we're going to do is I'm just going to bring my exposure down a little bit. It's going to make that sky a little bit darker. There we go. And then I'm going to go where my temperature slider is. And you can see I've got it. I can change this to be warmer or cooler. And in my tint, I can change from green to cyan. So my temperature, I'm going to just click and drag that to the left, which is going to make it a little bit more blue. There we go. And then just because I like the cyan skies, I'm going to bring a little bit of tint in there. And we're just going to make that a little bit more green as well. I'm going to make it even more blue. We're going to bring some more color in there. Boom. That's looking fantastic. And then you can go up here and adjust your exposure however much you want to. I like it to be subtle. I don't want like a crazy difference, but let's go ahead and just click on this eyeball here, right next to the mask. There you can see there's a before and after. So like definitely made a difference, right? Fantastic. Now, I think it's maybe a little bit too much. You can go ahead and edit this at any time. So while we're on the subject, let's just go ahead and click on this eyeball right up here on the top of our entire mask dialog. there's our before and our after. We can already see really nice changes to this image. There we go. I'm going to bring a little bit more cyan in there. I like that a little bit better. Now, while we're on this, I want to draw even more attention to my subject. And we're going to do that with 2 vignettes. Very simple, easy to do. So let's go ahead and create new mask. There we go. We're going to go down to where it says radial gradient. Let's go ahead and click on radial gradient. And I'm going to click and drag out from the middle. There we go. Now you can move this around. You want it to be relatively centered on your subject. And in this case, we're just going to go where it says my exposure over here on the right-hand side. We're going to bring that just a little bit brighter. I don't want to go crazy, but just a little bit brighter. The point here is I want the subjects, like the viewer, you, me, your friends, to look more at my subject and less at the background. So we're making our subject a little bit brighter. Now we're going to make our background just a little bit darker. So let's go ahead. We're going to create a new mask. Let's make one more. We're going to go to a radial gradient as well. Just click and drag out right there. And basically this is a vignette. So if you've ever heard of a vignette, we're making one manually. There we go. Now, this area is what's going to get affected. You can see this red here. That's what gets affected. But in this case, I want to affect the opposite. I want to invert it. So there's an invert button right up here on your gradient. So just click there, boom. And now you can see this is what's going to get affected here, this red area out there. So in this case, we're going to bring our exposure down just a little bit on there. You want these effects to be subtle. You don't want to go like super strong with it. But as you can see, let's just turn this off and on. There we go. It makes a big difference. So now it's time. I think this looks great, honestly. Let's go ahead and take a look at a before and after with all of our changes. So let's just click on this before and the after. We can see that really doesn't take too much time. We can select, change colors, and change exposure. Now, I kind of think that I overdid it a little bit with the brightness on my subject. Like I made maybe a little bit too bright. So you can just click right here on the mask again, and look at this. I can just change this exposure at any time. Don't forget, because this is Lightroom for desktop, this syncs automatically to the cloud. This is going to be available on your iPad or your phone, whatever device you are using this on, and you can make these changes at any point in time. Don't forget, you can download this sample image and follow along. Just click on the link right down below. And if you want to get more free tutorials from PHLEARN, click on that subscribe button. Send us a like, give us a comment. We'd appreciate all of it. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm. Thanks so much, and I'll PHLEARN you later. Bye, everyone.